Um, you introduce yourself to us, sir. What is your name and your portfolio, sir?
Okay, my name is Idris Miliki Abdul. I'm the Executive Director of Conscience for Human Rights and Conflict Resolution.
All right, sir. Concerning the strike that the labor union embarked on, what is your take on this, sir?
Well, we have to look at it from the constitutional aspect of it. Every workers have the right to embark on strike for the welfare of their members. However, there are constitutional provisions on procedures for embarking on strike between the employers and the employee. However, what we are going through presently is a response to the subsidy removal in Nigeria. And the history of subsidy removal has been there for quite some time. And if you look at what federal government claim they have spent on subsidy removal, which they are even paying through debt, which doesn't get to everybody. And the effect of subsidy itself affects everybody because it started with transportation. And it has increased inflation in the market. However, as labor themselves that have embarked on strike, is it on behalf of Nigeria have they embarked on strike or on behalf of their members? Because it is not everybody in Nigeria that earns salary through government. It's not everybody in Nigeria that is an affiliate of Nigerian Labour Union, particularly the NLC. And so what is the level of consultation within themselves and the Nigerian citizen? What level of information have they provided to the Nigerian people before they went on strike? Because the strike they have embarked on behalf of their people, as far as I'm concerned, on behalf of the workers of Nigeria, it's not on behalf of the people of Nigeria. Even the issue of subsidy itself is confusing by labor themselves. Labor is asking for so many things, and which is both long time and short time. If you look at many of the welfare packages they are asking, particularly issue of a salary increase is a constitutional matter which needs the National Assembly to legislate upon. All the period we've had salary increment in Nigeria has been legislated upon by the National Assembly. So it is something that is on concurrent list in most cases, where both the state and the federal government need to harmonize their position. Would the state government be able to pay if the federal government make a proposal? And Labour had made a proposal to the legislature, to the federal government. Then the citizens that are there that have been affected. Now you came up the last time that you are going to protest. You are on the street to make protests. You met with the federal government. For some of us, they don't know what Labour discussed with the federal government, as those demands have not been adequately put on the domain of the Nigerian people. And when they had a meeting with the president or presidency, the protest was called up. The Labour went back to their executive council that agreed to go into strike. That is number one. Do they form alliance with the citizens of the state before they went on strike? For instance, in Kogi State, for instance, what did the Labour do with the Nigerian people or Kogi people over the issue of cushioning the effect? I don't want to use the word palliative because palliative is temporary. There are a lot of sectors that we need to see. Even when the Labour marched to the government house and submitted the letters, that is all that we have seen. How many workshops and seminars have they organized? How many stakeholder meetings have been constituted to educate the citizen if they are taking the lead? As far as I'm concerned, the Labour have gone on strike on behalf of the workers, particularly the federal and private workers. But there are a lot of citizens that are on the day. Okada riders are not on strike, and they are affected. Keke Napep are not on strike. The garage is open. People are still traveling. They are not affected. And even the Nigerian Union of Transport Workers, they are also affiliate of Labour. Are they on strike? They are not on strike. The petrol stations are working. What is happening to Nupen? So I think if we look at all these things, we need to look at the impact of this strike to the generality of the people. For instance, for the past 12 hours, or for the past about 20 hours, there is no electricity. And now the workers you are fighting for cannot even charge their handset. People who are workers cannot power their they need to power their generator, which makes it much expensive. So as far as I'm concerned, it is ill time. They have a right to go on strike. That must be agreed upon. But when you go on strike, what level of consultation they do make within the generality of the people
So at this point that the option they can actually adopt to solve the issue on ground with them and the
strike is the last option, and they are starting with strike. They said they are negotiating and the government have not yet signed agreement. Well, what is the timeline to sign an agreement for demand? Federal government claim that they have given no less than 2 billion naira to each state of the federation. And we have seen several state governments where strike is ongoing now. Borno State is part of it, and even Lagos State and like Delta that have put, even Kwara State, just to mention but few, have put machinery in place to be able to cushion the effect on a temporary basis, because 1 mudu of rice or 1 bag of rice is not what we are saying. But have you been able to see what can we do that can affect the generality of the people? Even if you are going to put vehicle on the street to cushion the effect and reduce the cost of transportation, how many months will it be for you to be able to buy vehicle? So I think to me, it is the last option that they are starting with. Because after you have gone on strike and come back, you are going back to the negotiating table. What is the time that the ministers have also been appointed? You just have the Minister of Labour. The various ministries have to sit down and study their notes, handing notes, and be able to make projections and recommendations. It's not about the presidency. It's about different acts of government that need to sit down and look at, because what we are saying here, it is not just. For instance, the civil society, we are also affected. But is anybody speaking on our behalf? Is anybody negotiating on our behalf? And that is the question that we are asking. The Labour have not made broad-based consultation among the citizenry they claim they are fighting for. So I don't think the option of strike, which they have commenced with, is the best way in my opinion.
Okay, sir. The TUC and the Labour Union, they are
the NLC.
Not, the NLC, they are not at a good term, because you see that the TUC, most of them are actually at work. Why the Labour, who is constitutes the NLC, who we have the civil servants who are members, most of them are actually affected greatly. Some of them are at home, and some are not even collecting salaries as it's supposed to be. Now let's come down home to Kogi. What has the NLC in Kogi actually do to cushion? Because we've heard about many other states NLC who has actually also helped the government to cushion the effect of this fuel subsidy by helping them to distribute materials, palliative materials here and there.
This is what I am saying. You need ideas. Between the TUC and the NLC, they had affiliate union, and it's like coins. It's backing the NLC, but it's facing the TUC. TUC has back out, and what they claim was that it is ill time, that strike is not the best option at this particular time. And so for that reason, they are not on strike, and they have met with the federal government. But the Labour movement, under leadership of Ajiro, who is partisan, who is a member of Labour Party, who canvassed publicly in the 2023 election for the Labour Party itself, as far as we are concerned, it is a partisan Labour NLC leader, as of today, have refused to meet with the federal government to even do. Even the civil society, we have what we call LASCO, Labour Civil Society Coalition. Have they expressed those one for us to involve them and to give our own opinion? And in Kogi State, as we are talking today, the NLC in Kogi State have not organized single stakeholder meeting that can bring civil society, that can bring other stakeholders on the table to be able to say, okay, look, this is our request, this is our demand, and how do we go about it? What are the suggestions have they made to government? What is the demand for their government? You just marched to government house and submitted a letter to the deputy governor. When the governor is what is the impact of that letter? Have you not seen that even with the civil society have sat down for a day? And now we look at the subsidy history. I was a lead presenter, and we made various recommendations. We have also been on radio to be able to see what is happening. And we have seen several other people have organized a 1-hour radio program with our own resources in this office to be able to discuss cushioning the effect of palliative at sub-national level, where different citizens of the country, of the state, need to make their own suggestion. What has NLC done? We have not seen the leadership of NLC in Kogi State on television discussing cushion the effect. We have not seen the NLC in Kogi State on radio discussing. We have not seen press release from NLC after they have marched to government house. So as far as we are concerned, it is a toothless bulldog that cannot bite. So when the local government workers in Kogi State were being paid salary for several years, what did NLC do? As of today, have they been paid balances? Remember, when the National Executive Council or Economic Council, whatever you said, they met in Abuja, the governors of Anambra State and then the governors of Bauchi State addressed the media. And what did they say? That the federal government and that Economic Council meeting agreed and mandated the state governors and state government to go back and pay arrears. And you can see that since July to this present time, there have been more money coming to the state from the subsidy removal because the federal government have shared more money, and particularly from the July allocation. And they have added more money to the state government. What did they do with that money? This is the issue. We will have expected the labor movement, the NLC, to be able to sit down and constantly engaging the government by making their opinion known, by letting the government know that, yeah, this is what we want to do. They are busy waiting for when Ajero will give them directive. Ajero does not live in Lokoja. What about when the 30%, the 30,000 minimum wage was not paid for 2 years here? Did Ajero come here to give them money to go on street? Have they paid their arrears? They have not paid. What about leave bonus of workers in the last 7 years or thereabout? What about promotion arrears that the outgoing government is owing the workers of Kogi State? Are they addressing it? So this is the issue that we are saying. So that we will have expected them to set up their own committee and then call stakeholders for a conference a day or two to involve intellectualism. What is the research that has been carried out by the labor movement on subsidy removal to be able to say, considering the effect, this is the gain. What is the difference between what the Kogi State government has been collecting on statutory allocation and before July and what they are collecting now, and what have they done with that? Have they paid any leave bonuses? Somebody have asked that the auditor of the state government from 1990 to 2021 is not made to the public. What is the NLC saying about that? Somebody have also said that there is a derivation, 30% derivation, that Kogi State government is benefiting for the past few months. What they use that money? These are the things that NLC need to let the citizens of Kogi State know that they are workers. They prepare the document. They know what is happening. Their members are in various ministries, so they need to tell the citizens. You don't just come and wake up that this and that. The impact of this strike go beyond the Nigerian workers. Because and now when they increase their salary, would they increase my own salary? Did I engage and yet have been affected on the street? Are you going to increase the income of Okada rider on the street? Are you going to increase the farmers on the are you going to increase the women selling pepper on the street? So as far as we are concerned, the strike itself is ill-timed and is condemnable, and we condemn it right now because we are not in support of strike at this time. Let the labor go back to the negotiating table, the NLC, and make it and be able to see, and this will address beyond wages. The welfare of Nigerians is what we are saying. If you have cut off electricity, there is no water. People are jumping up and down to look for water to drink. People have no electricity to power ordinary phone. Talk more. So the production has reduced drastically in the last 24 hours that the labor has been on strike. And they go to compensate Nigeria. Meanwhile, their salary will be paid at the end of the month when the strike is called off. So these are the issues that we are saying. Nobody is saying labor does not have the right to go on strike. Strike is part of employer and employee issue. And they said they won't go give the government a notice for them to do anything. Are you not coming back? And now, whatever NLC, TUC achieve on the negotiation table, the NLC is going to benefit from it. So what are we saying? You are going back to the negotiating table. So it's about negotiation. It's about dialogue in the long run. It's not a temporary issue. If you shut down the entire Nigeria, what are you going to benefit? Because here you are going to pay your salary at the end of the day. And when government come and say, okay, look, when you don't work, you are not going to be paid, you say no. The federal government went to court, industrial court. They forced the federal government to withdraw the case. And Nigeria said, you are not necessary to challenge labor because you have the right to go to court. After the federal government had withdrawn the case in court, they now went on the street and went on strike today. Can you see the damages that all of us are suffering as a result of this ill-fated strike? As far as I'm concerned, I don't think it's the right thing to do at this particular time. The current government that have been put in place, even during the election, What is the role of NLC? That's what we are saying. A lot of the media, a lot of civil society participated. They did mobilization. They trained people. They did voters education to be able to encourage Nigeria to participate in the election. What did the NLC do? They were busy campaigning for Labour Party and encouraging their affiliate to vote for Labour Party. Is it because Labour Party didn't win election and election had been put in place? Now the matter is in court. It has not yet been decided. The government is still being formed, and here you are declaring strike because subsidy has been removed. I think Tobias has concerned.
Accusation on the NLC that they actually participated.
It's on television. We have pictures. It's not an allege that they encourage their members to vote for Labour Party. Ajero said it. I'm on camera. It's not an allegation. They participated in the campaign of Labour Party, and they encouraged their members to vote for Labour Party. And Ajero, as a person, was in Labour Party uniform. So what are we talking about? He's partisan because he supported Labour Party movement.
And this is supposed not to be because
you are mixing politics with Labour. That's what we are saying. That is not supposed to be. They may claim to say they are members of Labour Party, which they have a right to do. But what we are saying, how do you separate your intention for the Nigerian people from partisan interest? That is the fundamental issue.
All right, sir. Thank you so much, sir.